face to the screen again, fellow slaves. A few brief observations about this Smith & Wesson M&P Shield EZ chambered in 380 that I got. Obviously, it's an easy slide, so it's going to have a pretty weak recoil spring. The one thing I don't really like about it that much is that it has those flats on it. You see where it's got the flat sides on it, and this end, it's not just round, it has that diamond shape, or whatever you want to call it, trap, I don't know, whatever it is. Obviously it's not loaded, so don't be worried if I'm pointing the barrel at myself. But, as you can see, you gotta take the time to line that up. It's not a big deal, you're not taking your gun apart in battle most of the time, hopefully not, anyway, let's see if I can do this one-handed on the camera. So one thing I don't like about it also is that it's a plastic guide rod. I guess, you know, you don't want to, I guess, don't expect to just go shooting this gun all the time. It's a purpose-driven purchase. I bought this to be a concealable firearm, and it's kind of hard to do this one-handed and hold the camera. But like I said, you have to kind of like, you have to line up that diamond shape to go in that nose cap hole there, and like, get this in here too. Okay, so that's back together. Now let's take it apart again. Watch this. So that comes out. Now what I want to do, and I will have to pause this video here in a moment and reset myself, but you can see on this, the feed ramp down here, if it would focus. I think I've inadvertently wiped it off with my finger, but you can see, okay, there you go. You can see where even just a round-nosed full metal jacket bullet was hitting that feed ramp and was not able to feed. Like, you can see like that round spot there. That's where that thing was just colliding with it, and it would not feed if I tried to just drop the slide. Like, if it locked open on empty and then I dropped the slide by releasing the slide catch, it would not feed. It would just jam right there. So I think one takeaway would be, if we were planning on, I mean, I would just plan on carrying it loaded. But like, if you do have to rack it. You know, don't rely on that. Or if you have to reload it, rack it. Just rack it, man. The Overton Windex guy, he's kind of overbearing sometimes, but I think he's right about that. Like, if you're under duress and you want to make 100% sure the gun works, rack that slide. Even if you throw away around. Now, that's the problem with this, is it's a 8+1 magazine. It's an 8-round magazine. So throwing away that one round is more significant with this gun. Now what I want to do is pause the video and set up to take my little Dremel tool with the buffing wheel and just really polish up this feed ramp. I did that to my Canik 9mm. I have a Canik TP9SF. It's nothing special. It was only like the $400 version, the 420, whatever. And, you know, it's a good gun. Has a good trigger and stuff, and it was actually I think the feed ramp on it was in better shape than this one to begin with. But this one definitely, you can see like where that was colliding with it. I mean, that does not look healthy for the maintenance, or I mean the reliable operation of a firearm. So let me pause the video here real quick, and I'll break my stuff out and maybe try to find another spot to do this. But yeah, look at that impact spot. Anyway, I digress. So for your edification, I did wipe off the dirt, and you can see the machine marks on there. And like each one of those little tiny ridges, as small as they may be and as smooth as it feels to the tip of your finger, that can cause a hiccup. So I want to just buff those out, and we'll see the progress here in a moment. Alright fellas, so bear with me here. I got the Meguiar's 105 Professional Ultra Cut Compound. It removes 1200 grit or finer sanding marks. So I think that those marks we could see in this are maybe more coarse than that, but with a little bit of time and patience, I think I'm going to get it. I could also, I have some finishing compound also, like more of a fine, like it's a little finer than this stuff. But I mean, I think if I'm really trying to take it down to smooth, I want to use this. So I just have my Dremel 4300. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. It's just I got like a little dab on there. I'm just gonna kind of work that for a couple minutes, clean it up, do it again a couple times. We'll see how it takes, how much time it takes, and we'll see what the result is when I'm done. So let me pause it again. Yeah, so after round one, you can still see some marks, but it's already way better. And I wasn't even going full speed. This buffing compound does a pretty good job. I mean, I'm not recommending what I do to anybody. Like, don't hold me responsible if you mess up your own stuff by following what I've done. Because, I mean, what I'm doing works for me, but, you know, to each his own. So, yeah, let me just hit that a second time. I'm going to go faster this time with the wheel. And you can see I just have that little tiny polishing wheel on a little Dremel. So, one moment, we'll be back. Okay, so I think that's the result we're going to achieve for tonight. Let me wipe that off a little better. Having a hard time getting the right angle with the light here. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's a near mirror finish now. I could probably go a little bit longer. That was about 5 minutes and like 4 or 5 passes. I wish it would focus a little better so you could see it. Yeah, so you can see, like those lines I was talking about earlier are pretty well eliminated. So I think it should slide up there a lot easier now. And just simple things like that. I had to do this to my Canik 9mm also. I love that gun. The Canik TP9SF. It's a fantastic trigger and stuff like that. And I honestly never had a problem with it, but I still polish this ramp. Just polish the ramp, guys. Don't be afraid of breaking it. Just be gentle and start off slow and just... The only way I'm going to find out how much this actually improved anything is if I take it back to the range. I suppose I could stand in my yard and like point it in a safe direction and not fire it, but just see if it'll drop around into the chamber when I release the slide hold open. So maybe that'll be another video, but yeah, I mean, it's not really that hard. Just polish this ramp, guys. Just polish it. Polish it, polish it, polish it. Especially if you plan on carrying hollow points, because the hollow points can really jag up on there. If I got my round point, Full Metal Jacket round ball snagging up on this, I'm pretty confident that there's a pretty high likelihood that hollow points would hang up on it as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Go out to the range. Find out what works for you. Like I said, none of this is advice. It's just me talking to myself, and hopefully a couple guys can maybe learn something or even just enjoy it. So have a good night. Don't forget the face of the screen, slaves.